Toy Story 3 is about Andy has grown up. Andy is now heading off to college, and the toys who have been there in his toy box in his room but getting less and less play over the years, what are they going to do now that Andy's going off to college?
What are you going to do with these toys? Should we donate them to Sunnyside?
Mom, no one's going to want those old toys.
Fine.
The toys accidentally get donated.
New toys!
They learn that Andy didn't really want to donate them. He was putting them in the attic to safekeep for later. Once they learn this, they have to try to get back home.
And chaos and hilarity ensue. One of the things that Lee Unkrich, the director, talked about is making all three worlds seamless, making all three films sort of feel part of the same universe. We'd had a number of meetings with Lee and Randy Newman about where the music was going to go and what the ideas were, and that was really helpful. It's always fantastic to meet early on with the composer and sort of figure out, divvy up where things are going to be.
Very often the sound designer and the composer are working in isolation. You know, the sound designer is trying to create the richest soundscape that they can for the film, and the composer is often working in a void themselves and trying to hit every little thing and support everything emotionally. And sometimes what ends up happening is we put them together in the mix and you have a lot of clashes. When I spotted the film with Randy Newman, I had Tom Myers at that spotting so that we could have a dialogue going and talk early on about where maybe the sound effects could win out over music or vice versa.
Lee's very smart and very precise and has incredible ears. I mean, and we were mixing, and Michael, who's, you know, multi-Oscar winner and all that, and Lee would hear stuff and we would go, oh yeah, you're right.
He knew what he wanted and he really pays attention. He's a very matter of fact, this is what I like, this, I don't like this, you know, let's try that. He has it in his head already, which is, for me, wonderful. I really enjoyed working with him.
He's also very rhythm-oriented, which is good for comedy especially, so music falling on beats and sound effects falling on beats and where to move things to make sure a joke works.
So reset your Buzz Lightyear, insert paperclip...
Rex, use your finger! Okay, now what?
All right, let's see. Caution, do not hold button for more than 5 seconds.
It's not my fault!
Bitácora espacial. Me he despertado del hipersueño en un planeta extraño.
Now what did you do? I just did what you told me.
The challenge with all the Toy Story movies is that there's always 6 or 8 or a dozen characters running around, talking. They're all making their own type of sounds.
And then you have the Randy Newman score. It's a very, you know, busy score, and I mean that in a positive way. It's very Carl Stalling, like, you know, you know, it's beautiful, and it's really fun, and that's what makes the movie fun. Combining all these busy elements and not wear the audience out was probably the biggest challenge.
That's why I'm gonna get played with.
Rex?
Come to Papa.
Ken? Oh, where are you hissing that boy? Ken? New toys!
Far out. Down in a jiff, Lotso.
So, who's ready for Ken's Dream Tour?
I mean, everybody loves Ken, and I think Ken is the funniest character in the movie. And we did this stuff with his little neck turn and head turns and stuff like that, which is a simple effect, but it's really sort of effective for him and for his character.
When Ken recognizes Barbie the first time is fun. And
Hi, I'm Ken.
Barbie?
It was a great moment because he freezes and the song starts. Actually, I have it start in mono and I spread it around the room as the camera zooms in. It's really fun. It just wraps around, and it's supposed to be, for me, it's supposed to be Ken's just like everything else is gone around. Wow, who's this, you know?
Folks, if you want to step right this way. Hi. I'm Ken.
Barbie? Have we ever met?
I would have remembered. Love your leg warmers.
Nice ass cut.
Come on, Ken. Recess don't last forever.
Pixar has always been very encouraging about expanding the space. I mean, even if you look at Toy Story 1, some of the panning all the dialogue and pulling stuff off the screen, it was really very inventive and very forward-thinking. And so this being Toy Story 3 and being in 3D, we started to think about, well, what else can we do? How can we push it a little bit farther?
Pixar came to us and said that we feel that the technology has moved. You know, we've moved away from film, we have digital. 3D is obviously an incredible phenomenon, and they felt that everything was there, but they now felt that 5.1 needed to evolve into the next level. And they came to Dolby and said, you know, how can we do this? You know, what can you guys do to help us enable this? We looked at today's surround convention and then looked around at what we could do, and 7.1 is a perfect fit.
You know, you have your front speakers, your left, center, right, front. Now you have a left and right side, and you have a left and right on the back wall.
All theaters that are 5.1, which is pretty much all theaters around the world, this configuration fits so easily within that. The exhibition basically doesn't have to do that much to add this format.
We were approached as, hey, let's do this, and Tom and I were both, yeah, let's give it a shot and see, you know, let's start pushing the envelope on some of these things. And can we help support the story by making the environment, the theater, more like the environments that we're putting our characters in, whether it's 3D or 2D.
Our key thing was to not make it a gimmick, you know, and not just use it because we could.
I used 7.1 as a way of just like creating better spaces for my characters in the film and for the music. So for me, the left and right sides were really fun because I could actually spin the dialogue slightly off more, even just off the screen a little bit, or a little bit more to the right, a little bit more to the left, without actually being on the back wall.
Mr. Lotso, do toys here get played with every day?
All day long, 5 days a week.
What I love most about doing this type of work is watching it with an audience and seeing the reaction. You spend weeks and months mixing the film thinking, well, is that funny enough? Is that going to be, you know, are they going to get people to cry? Are they going to be emotionally attached? So when I sit with an audience member and see the laughter and the tears or what, those are the greatest rewards for me.
This sort of starting at one point where it's just storyboards and you're recording stuff, and then 6 months later you have this, you know, whole piece of work that comes together, and just collaborating with you know, great people. I mean, they're great people here and people at Pixar. It's a fantastic group.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old past did. Boy, you got a friend in